Assalamu alaikum, everybody. I hope all is well. Welcome to That Waqt, where we hear the wild stories of people who went out in the path of Allah. My name is Kashif. Today I got a big guest all the way from the UK, my boy. Yo, one of the things is when I was thinking about guests for this podcast, you came up. I'm like, yo, I need my boy,
No way.
Sajjad, my boy from the UK.
Assalamu alaikum, bro.
Sajid, bro, how are things? How are you, man? What's
Yeah,
going on?
alhamdulillah, bro. You're good. I'm good. I'm
Yeah,
good. Things are, alhamdulillah, can't complain.
alhamdulillah. Me and
Can't complain.
we go way back to like 2014. That's when we first met.
Yeah, like nearly 10 years.
Yeah. Alhamdulillah. Shout out to the other boys that Hafiz, Zach. Shout out to Leicester, Blackburn, all you guys, bro. Just for the viewers, like, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. So, obviously, my name is Sajjad. Obviously, gosh, if pronounced it wrong. And he's just told me after like 9 years.
Yeah,
But,
I was waiting for you
no,
to be like, I,
alhamdulillah.
I was waiting for you to cut me off, and I'm like, okay, yo, let's just go, with it.
No, it's so good. Yeah, I obviously first, I'm like 30 just yesterday. So I'm
Mashallah.
getting old, getting into big leagues. Yeah. And yeah, I'm since uh, since Jama, a lot has changed. Obviously, a lot has changed.
Yeah,
Put on a couple of kgs, got married, had kids, moved out. So yeah, man, I think you seen like a different version of me back then, and
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
probably
yeah,
hearing a different version now.
yeah. Mashallah. So you have, I know you got a boy. It's just that's the only child, right?
Yusuf,
Yusuf.
yeah, just the
Mashallah.
one.
How's Yusuf doing?
He's alright, alhamdulillah. He's sleeping at the moment.
You're still in. You said you moved out, so you're still in Leicester.
Yeah, still in Leicester.
Oh, okay.
Just got another place.
Alhamdulillah, man. That's good. Like I was mentioning, we met in 2014 in India. We were doing we were both in 4 months. I was in the second part of my the 40 days, and I was in India, and I still remember just like how we were all sitting, and then all of a sudden I hear you UK guys talking, and then I'm like, oh, okay, guys that I can relate to, and then I don't know how we started talking, and then all of a sudden we're putting the Jamaat together, and we were off to Mumbai.
That's
Yeah,
the one.
yeah, man.
Oh, Mumbai,
Um,
that was crazy, isn't it?
yeah, it was wild. We'll get to that though, but I want to know, man, like how get into the path of Allah. Like how, what do you remember from your first experience? How you got into it? Tell us a little bit about that.
So, so mine's I've got a bit of a twist. So when I first obviously started going to Jamaat and stuff, I wasn't very sorry, I wasn't really aware of the effort. But obviously the masjid was on my mum's, obviously my parents where they live, it's on the same street. And we
Yeah,
had a very close family friend called Hamza, and he actually asked he asked my mum if he can take me to Jamaat. But before that, I didn't know what anything was. I didn't know, why people were walking around with big sleeping bags going to the masjid and stuff.
yeah,
So yeah, he one day asked my parents like, "What are you doing in the weekend?" I said, "Oh, nothing much." He said, "All right, come Jamaat with me." And I think it was Ramadan. Yeah, it was Ramadan. So he took me, went for 3 days, and that's initially how I got introduced to what Jamaat was. Um, and since then, obviously, there was times where I was on and off. I was going, I wasn't going, I was going, I wasn't going, and then obviously then I had a chance um, to go for a little longer, which I did. But I'm probably getting off topic now, so
So
I'll
when
leave
was
it at
that?
that.
Do you remember what year that was?
Oh, when 2014, 2011, just after school, yeah, just after I finished school, yeah.
Okay, nice. And did you guys stay local, or did you guys go out somewhere to like a
We
different
stayed
city?
local. That Jamaat was
Yeah.
terror. No, we were in the
Really?
same city. That Jamaat was terror. We had too many kids, too many youngsters, and I don't think they wanted to
Yeah.
take the risk by sending us somewhere out. Um, but yeah, that that Jamaat was something else. Yeah, there were people
Oh,
trying to escape and all sorts.
yeah.
So yeah, 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 yeah. Funny.
Um,
It's a good Jamaat
do
though,
you
I think.
find like do you find the effort back then compared to now is night and day, or is it kind of like a little similar? How would you describe it from then to now?
It's obviously back then I was a lot immature, and the effort of Jamaat. I think in the locality where my mother and them live, obviously where the Marcus is, it's
Hmm.
it's booming. It's mashallah. The effort is very very well. They're very thorough with the effort, and it's
Yeah,
all of all the amals in the day they follow and stuff. As you start to go out, I mean I can't really say, but I feel like as you start going out of the center where there's more more diversity and you're living in different localities, the Jamaat at the time wasn't as strong, should I say? But
yeah.
Alhamdulillah, it started to pick up a lot more. Yeah, there's masjids literally left, right, and center, in the whole of Leicester. But Alhamdulillah, I'm lucky, man. I'm lucky that I grew up in Leicester and I live in Leicester because the work is all around.
Mashallah, in the UK, it's a different level there too. It's amazing.
100%.
Um,
Hmm.
and then how did 2014 happen? Give us the story about how you got to India and how we met.
2014, right? So it actually started initially in 2013. Um, so obviously got together with a couple of my friends, and they're like,
Yeah,
"Oh, let's go, Jamaat, let's go 40 days." Bearing
yeah,
in mind the longest I'd been before that is 3 days.
yeah,
So summer holidays, and everyone's like, "Okay, let's do it. We'll go." So we set out. Um, said 40 days. We'll come back after 40 days. It got to around 12 days, and I was like, I can't do this. I couldn't hack it.
yeah, yeah,
So I spoke to Amir Sabino. I said, I miss home. I don't think I can hack it. He said, oh no, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. And I think later that day, I just like, oh, I can't do it. And I ended up coming back after 12 days. And
okay,
then after that, that was 2013. And in 2014, um, I was tashkil to go for 40 days. Actually, it was initially to go 4 months. And the Amir Sab who kind of gave me tashkil me to go and stuff, he's like, oh, do you know what? Just get your passport right now and give a deposit. Just get your passport, give a deposit. And I did that. I thought I was ready. I was ready to go 4 months. Bearing in
yeah,
mind, I hadn't even done 40 days before. I was ready to go 4 months. So I'm at the masjid at this time, and like he's probably, he was going in, and I was like, I was in Josh. I'm like, yeah, do you know what? I'm gonna do it. Let's go. So I went
yeah,
home. I got £100 deposit. I got my passport. I said, there you go, man. Let's
yeah,
do it like
okay,
that. And I did that, and I think something came up like a week later or something, and then um, they're like, oh, you won't be able to travel, you won't be able to go, or whatever. I can't remember exactly what reason was, but I went back to the Mir Sahib. I said, look, something happened. I can't go anymore, unfortunately. And the weird thing is, right, that the Amir Sahib gave the passport money back. He said, that's fine. But he said that money that you put in,
yeah,
um, he said that was going to be the means of you going 4 months or
yeah,
something along those lines.
yeah,
And anyway, I didn't think much of it. And then 2 months later, it was time to go for 40 days. So once again, I made intention, gonna go 40 days. But this time I had like Zach with me. There
yeah,
was Adil Chapri, and then all the boys and stuff. And obviously we went out 40 days, and I had a couple of other lads with me as well. Then it was initially meant to be 20 days,
yeah,
and then I thought, after 20 days, I thought, you know what, yeah, make it 40. When it got to the 40 days, I got tashkiled again, and I thought, you know what, I've done 40 anyway.
yeah.
I might as well just finish it off and do the full 4 months.
Subhanallah.
And so subhanallah, it was crazy because I was in Dewsbury at the time. I rang my parents. I said, I need a passport, I need some money, and I'm going to go 4 months. And literally, it was just that decision. That same night, we booked the flights.
Yeah,
And before you knew it, like from 40 days
yeah,
to 4 months.
yeah.
And next thing you know, I'm in India. It's crazy.
Nice,
But
nice.
yeah, alhamdulillah, it was it was crazy. It was like, and then obviously I was pondering and I kind of thought to myself, wow, like that Musa was actually right. That the £100 that I gave in deposit initially to secure my place in 4 months actually got me out in the path of Allah. So yeah,
Subhanallah.
it was crazy. And I'd never thought I'd be going 4 months when I left the house,
Yeah.
and Alhamdulillah, ended
Allah,
up in India.
Allah accepted, man. Allah accepted. And then you showed up
Yeah,
to Nizamuddin. How was that when you first got there? Because that was the first time you went there, correct?
Nizamuddin. Yeah, yeah, first time. I've been in India before,
Yeah,
but it's the first time in Nizamuddin, and obviously we get in, and you just see a massive, like, it's just huge, and just like bodies everywhere.
yeah,
And that's like the Indian area, and then you go up, and I think it was like the Philippines area,
yeah,
and before that you see like the Arabs and stuff, and then you walk up again, and this is the English area, and you're like, whoa, it's amazing, like the amount of people from all over the world, all over the globe that's coming. This is one building, and at first I was like overwhelmed. I didn't know what to think. Like, am I here? Like, what am I doing? Did I think this
yeah,
through?
yeah,
Um, I think it was mixed emotions. I didn't really know what to think of it at the time because I think a part of me, because you're young, you just like, I want to do it. It's like an adventure. Um, but then at the same time, you're like, hold on, you're there for a reason. But
yeah.
alhamdulillah, it worked out. It worked out for the better.
Alhamdulillah. So when I got to Nizamuddin, and I came at like 2 a.m. and I was alone. So I showed up, and then they took me upstairs, and they're trying to find a spot for me to lay down. It's like everyone's sleeping. Then they put me into this little spot. Bro, at that point, I was like, I want to go home. Right at like I haven't even laid down yet. Try to close my eyes, try to sleep. I just I was like, I want to go. I want to leave. But then I'm like, okay, they say this is the English section. We'll see in the morning how it goes, and then in the next day or two is when I met you, Zach. Then there was another Molana. I think his name was Molana Jalil. I
Oh,
forgot.
from London, Mona Abdul Jalil. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
remember
yeah,
him.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Hafiz,
Yeah,
and those guys. And then
Hafsab, and
yeah, yeah. And
yeah,
then
Hafsab. I think there was a Clint as well in it. Master
the
Clint.
yeah,
Clint, you know the
dude,
short one. Yeah,
dude. Shout out to Master Cleanse,
yeah.
bro. And then later on, I think we just got to talking, and you're like, "Yo, we're going out." I'm like, "Okay, where are we going?" He's like, "Don't worry." You said something like, "Don't worry, let's go, let's go." Next thing I know, bro, I'm on some like horse buggy, and we're riding in the streets of Delhi, and I'm like, "Yo, this is like a roller coaster," because we almost got into 4 or 5 accidents, and you're like, "Bro, it's all good, bro, it's all good. This is good, this is good." And I think that at that point, like I actually made dua, bro. I'm like, yeah, like accept me to get tashkil to these guys because these guys are dope. But it was solid. What do
Yeah,
you remember about? So we got first we got tashkil to Mumbai,
yeah.
and then there was that
Was that
23.
your first tashkil?
Yeah, that was my first tashkil. That was my first tashkil was with you
Yes,
guys.
it was. It was. Yeah,
And we
yeah. And
went to
ours was
Mumbai.
from Mumbai. No, that was our second tashkil, I think.
That was your second.
Yeah, as
I
far as I
don't.
remember, Mumbai was our second
Yeah,
tashkil.
it was my first with you guys because we had the two locals from Hyderabad. Um,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. So and
I
then we went to
remember.
Mumbai, 23-hour long train ride. What do you remember about
Do
that
you
time?
remember with
Like,
the
what's
security guards?
which
Do you
part
remember
is
there was a
this?
politician traveling with us?
Yo, you have to tell that story. Tell that story because I tell that
Oh
story to
man,
people, man.
that
Um,
was
you,
crazy, man.
you have to tell that
Literally,
story.
I can try. I don't remember the. It's very vague though. Um,
Yeah,
but wow, man, we turn up at the train station, and then apparently Amir Sab comes up to us and he tells us, "Is like, you're gonna be traveling with like 200 security personnel," and then you see like
yeah,
all these guys blacked out, guns in their pockets at the back or
yeah,
whatever, and he's there. Like I was like, whoa, this is a bit intense. And
Yeah.
and then the funny thing is, he gets us all around his circle. He's like, right, you are all gonna tashkil the security people, and we're like, no, 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 that's in case they pull out a gun on us. We're not doing that. And
Yeah.
then next, we're like,
Yeah.
okay, we'll take a vote, and there you
Yeah.
go, kashif, 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 kashif,
Yeah.
and that's it, literally. Everyone's like,
I
yep,
I was
Kashif's
I was
doing it.
like, they just want to hear the Canadian accent. That's it. All these UK guys just want to hear the Canadian accent.
It's the soft voice. That's what it is. It's the Canadian accent and the soft voice together. That's what it is. All I remember, right, is walking down and literally they split us up so nicely, so
Yeah.
evenly. Like
Yeah.
per row or aisle, we had one person and like
Yeah.
10, 15 security guards around them, and then there's the shkieling, and then you walk around to the next one person,
Yeah.
10, 15 security guards around them,
Yeah.
and it's like it was crazy. That's all I
Yeah.
remember though. That's literally anything that you remember from there.
Um, and then so then you know how they made me do the talk. I remember then I was sitting down and I'm just talking to these guys, and then more of them show up, and then more of them show up, and then at that point I'm like, man, should I just keep going hard, or should I say, okay, yeah, thank you, and nice to meet you guys, or what I should do? But it ended up being like an hour of all of us just there having a conversation. Um, and these guys, yo, bro, they actually started shedding tears too, man. Because some of them were Muslim guys, and they're like, "Yeah, man, we want to go to
Yeah,
the masjid." They're talking amongst themselves. Dekho ye bahar se aaye hain, namaz padh rahe hain, young bachche, like that kind of thing, right? Uh, and I just thought that was a wild experience. And then sometimes I add some like cherry to the top. I'm like, yeah, man, these guys were buff, and they had Ajay Devgan aviator type of looks, and then everyone at that point was like, okay, yeah, yeah, stop exaggerating. But um, it was it
no, that
was
was
an
experience.
experience, bro. It was a good experience. So with that 4 months, so there was the train one. Do you remember? Is there anything else that comes to your mind?
It's a bit of a funny one though. I don't know if I should
Yeah,
share it. You remember Adil Chapri,
yeah, 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 yeah.
the
He's the
fair
guy.
guy? He looked like
Fair, yeah, 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 yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm not sure if you were in this tashkil with us, but basically it was it was Maghrib time, and someone had told him to go do the adhan. So Chapri with his low voice,
yeah,
proper quiet.
yeah,
So Amir Sab
yeah,
had gone to the toilet at the time, and next minute,
yeah,
Chapri starts doing the adhan. Amir
yeah.
Sab thought it was a karma. He came out running out the toilet. He's like, "Namaz shuru ho gayi."
Yeah,
He came running out, "Namaz shuru ho gayi, bhago." I
yeah,
was like, "Oh,
yeah,
yeah, that was one thing." But
yeah,
wait, it's crazy, man. I mean, that that initial like masjid where we were, it was like a darul uloom
yeah,
for children that had like either poor parents or no parents.
yeah,
And I still remember this young kid, I think 5 years old. His name was
yeah,
Sadiq, and
yeah,
wow, man, he lost both his parents, and he was there, and like, man, this broke my heart, man. Like, I think after Fajr, obviously all the kids are playing around and stuff, and obviously this little 5-year-old is there,
mhm,
he's washing his clothes next to the tap, and that was like a proper eye opener for me, man. I'm thinking, wow, like at that age, 5 years old, and you know, kids here at 5, you know what they like, and like for him
yeah,
to be washing his own clothes, doing his own things for a 5-year-old without any parents,
yeah,
yeah, that was sad, man.
yeah,
Yeah, it
yeah,
was
yeah. I
crazy.
think just that whole, for me, even there was this. I don't think you were in this tashkil because you guys were finishing your 4 months, and at that point I was gonna head off to Pakistan, and I think Hafiz Saad cleanse, and they were just in 40 days. So we went to this place in Delhi, and I just remember seeing like kids that are 6, 7 playing with goats and sticks and all that kind of stuff, and they're just you can tell there's a genuine happiness amongst them. And I just remember seeing like,
Mm,
man, like these guys are living in tents because we were in some area. They were, I saw the blue tarp, I saw where they lived, but happy, like content, like just feeling good. And I'm like, man, like sometimes it just made me feel like I'm so blessed. And sometimes I just feel ungrateful. But like that whole
mm,
experience, just going to India, was, it was an eye opener. Like it really makes you realize the blessing that you have and connecting with Allah, and then on top of that, just seeing how the rest of the world is, and it was good. It was amazing.
yeah.
And then so yeah, so we went to Mumbai and then we came back and then you went somewhere else, right? You, Zach, because you guys were finishing your 4 months. So
Yeah, so we finished our 4 months and then we went to like villages, like where our
yeah,
family was. So we went there for like I think a
uh,
week. Me and Zach were in the same village, so we were together the whole
yeah,
time.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah, and yeah, that was fun. But I think
yeah,
like there's a lot of things that even like previous, that, in the first 40 days I spent in the UK,
yeah, yeah,
there was loads like I met some special people, man.
yeah,
Some
yeah,
It's unreal. Yeah, there was this
yeah,
one. It's in Dewsbury actually. It was our last masjid that we went to before we were flying out.
mm-hmm,
And we walk into the masjid and we first straight we empty masjid, a very small masjid, and like we just hear like Quran recitation, like beautiful Quran recitation. Like wow, where's that coming from? Obviously at the time we just got in, so we settled down, put our bisters away, and did wudu, prayed rakat namaz and stuff like that. And then over the course of the day, because we got there just in the morning, because obviously we walked from one masjid to another, and over the course of the day we got to meet this person, and it turned out it was obviously it was a white person, so
mm-hmm,
uh, previously a Christian,
yeah,
and he actually became a Maulana. So we thought, wow, this guy's got some history, or there's something about him. So we sat down
yeah,
after Isha. I said, Maulana, we'd love for you to tell us, what the sketch is now.
yeah,
So what happened was he was a Christian,
yeah,
and he'd actually he had this condition which meant he was gonna become blind, and eventually that time came where he lost his eyesight 100%, so he was totally blind.
mm-hmm,
The thing is, I don't remember the full story. It's very vague from what I
mm-hmm,
remember, but I remember
mm-hmm,
like the main bits. And he'd basically lost his eyesight, and somehow he whilst he was obviously whilst at that point I think he was very upset or very down, obviously because of the
yeah,
situation that he was put in.
yeah,
Um, and he'd actually later on down the line, I can't tell you exactly what happened in the middle because I don't know 100%. There's bits and bobs that I know, but he accepted Islam.
mm-hmm,
And the crazy thing is, he accepted Islam, and after he accepted Islam, he became Hafiz. He became alim as well. And the one line that he dropped, like really, really hit home for everyone. He said, "Allah took away my eyesight, but He gave me Islam in return." And like, imagine a person that's totally blind. He became a Hafiz.
yeah,
He became alim, and
yeah,
like,
yeah,
for Allah taking his eyesight, He's given him so much in return.
yeah. Subhanallah.
Yeah, that was
That,
unreal, and his voice was so beautiful. Like we
yeah,
tell him, Molana, pray, because his voice is like it's one of them where you just want to keep listening to.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah, that was one of
Subhanallah.
the amazing individuals I met.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
meet
man.
quite a few people while out in the path of Allah, and you really hear some inspiring stories.
Yeah.
But
Did I ever tell you the
subhanallah.
one in Manchester?
No.
No, oh, have I not told you? Oh,
No.
yeah, man. This was a bit heartbreaking at the same time. There was
Yeah.
it was Ramadan, and we were in, I think it's Old Trafford Masjid,
Hmm.
somewhere near Old Trafford in Manchester, and we sat. Everyone's got the sarkhans down. Obviously, the zumzum, the kajurs, all there for ready. Nearly time to break fast, and then the azan goes, and everyone's just eating, break their fast and stuff. And then I see this one man sitting on the side, and he's got his kajur and his water in front of him, but he's not having it. And you know, so someone goes to him and asks him, you can break your fast now. And he's like, I can't. And then he lifted his arms. He had no arms. Imagine, like, he had no arms, and he's there, and
Yeah.
this, oh man, yeah, this, so obviously this person fed him, put kajur in his mouth, gave him
Yeah.
water.
Yeah.
And then obviously after the Amir Sabasti, we've got a person that's going to join us,
Yeah.
and now, feed him or help him. I said, yeah. And like, bro, it was so emotional at the time because obviously I
Yeah.
didn't want to show him any emotion at the time when I was
Yeah.
feeding him, but I was just
Yeah.
thinking to myself, like, wow, imagine like Allah, you've given us hands, arms that we take
Yeah.
we take for
Yeah.
granted,
Yeah.
and this person, which are like we're having to feed him. He
Yeah.
can't do his daily tasks.
Yeah.
He can't feed himself. Like he's dependent on someone else to feed him and stuff. And like Alhamdulillah, like throughout our 4 months, like there
Yeah.
was constant like reminders,
Yeah.
like in shape, in like we'd see it firsthand,
Yeah.
constant reminders of like how grateful, like how ungrateful we are for like the most simplest things that we take for granted.
Yeah. I think
But yeah, man.
you and I had an experience on a rooftop of a masjid once. Do you remember that? Where we like dishkiled someone, not dishkiled, I'm sorry. I would say gave him dawah about the importance of like connecting with Allah and asking Allah for everything. Do you kind of remember that? Basically,
Can't, can't
we
remember.
were
Can't recall it,
we
bro.
so you and I went to the. He was basically a guy who was, I think he came to the masjid a few times. I'm not sure if he was a caretaker because I think he cleaned a few times. But you and I went up to the rooftop because it was hot. Like it was, I think it was August or something like that. And we're at the rooftop, and this guy comes upstairs, and he's to the rooftop where we were, and he's like, um, "I want each of you to give me 500 rupees." And we're like, "Why? What's going on with that?" And then at that point, he's just like, "No, I think he's just like basically begging us for 500 rupees." And then at that point, we're kind of just like, "Okay, it's I don't know. I feel like you and I kind of thought there was some sort of like the, it lacked kind of like his ask was not as genuine. It was more like, hey, just give me some money kind of thing.
Mm.
But you and I took that opportunity to really talk to him, and we spent time with him, and eventually we gave him some money, but we talked about how you need to ask Allah for whatever and all that kind of stuff. That's one thing that I've always remembered from our time together was upstairs on that rooftop, um, just giving this guy dawa. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, I
So you just
vaguely do remember
yeah
it. Very vague.
yeah. So you just experience these situations of talking to people and just it gives you a whole new perspective. So that's awesome. Aside from that, the 4 months that we met at, how about after that? Like, have you ever gone out to different places or done other things in the path of Allah, like things that
I've um I've been out for 240 days
yeah,
since, and 3 days sporadically.
yeah,
I think yeah, I mean, I think when I got back,
yeah,
um, obviously I was in my whole. So
yeah,
when it came to that part, I was joining my hole and stuff, and I think once
yeah,
I moved,
yeah,
became a bit distant because going back to where my mom lives.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, it's been sporadic because like if some of my mates are going like, oh, we're going Jamaat, and it's like,
yeah,
yeah, do you know what? I think it's good. We should go. And
yeah,
yeah, like even like this Ramadan, I think it's probably the last time I went. The
yeah,
last Ramadan we went, I was there for 3 days, and then
yeah,
once I finished, because it was local, I went. Um, and then once I finished, took Yusuf with me as well to the masjid to show him around and stuff. So
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. Is that an amazing experience taking your son to the masjid for the first time? And then
Yeah,
now he's going
it's
there and he prays with you and stuff.
yeah, it's amazing. It's the thing is obviously he's still a bit young, so you can't
Yeah,
take him during salah times and stuff because
yeah,
he might just wander off somewhere.
yeah, 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 yeah,
But like as long as obviously, because obviously I know the Jamaat was staying a bit longer,
yeah,
so I joined them for 3 days. They were there for like 10 days.
yeah,
So once I finished, I went back, took him,
yeah,
and yeah, it's a good experience. Like you want your child to have that connection with the masjid.
yeah,
Um, so it's always good, like even now, like if on the receiver when the adhan goes on and I'm getting late, like Baba, go to the mosque, so
yeah,
he knows that the adhan, and then you have to go to the masjid pay namaz.
yeah.
So yeah.
Subhanallah, man. That's amazing. Like that I think is a feeling that you can't really explain. You kind of got to just be in that situation to really understand the significance of it.
Hmm.
Have you ever been back to I know you're just you're from the Gujarat part of India, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever been back to India for like in Jamaat in general?
No, not in Jamaat, in general. But I've been like on holiday recently, like
Yeah, 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 yeah.
past 2 years I've been going, but
Yeah.
not Jamaat.
Those other two, you said you went for 40 days twice after that. Where'd you go?
40 days, yeah, both local,
Oh,
both
both
local. So
local?
they were, yeah, yeah. The last one was London. That was an
Yeah,
experience. That was good. Um,
yeah.
and the one before that was a mixture. So we did Dewsbury, we did Blackburn, and like all the north.
How was that? Any experiences from that?
I'm not gonna lie, the experiences that I had in the 4 months, probably like are the best experiences. Like nothing compares.
Yeah,
Yeah, nothing compares.
nothing compares to that.
No,
Even
those were like the best times.
I honestly still think about it from time to time just because it was just a life changing experience. And I think that's why like yourself, Zach, Hafsab, all these other guys, we still are like connected just because of it, right? Um,
Hmm.
aside from the 4 months, like when you come back, how do you feel like it changed you? Like what did you see in yourself um, that seemed like that time ingrained a different perspective in you? For example, like when I came back from 4 months, it wasn't like for me, it wasn't like, oh, okay, now I'm going to be doing gusht all the time. For me, it was like, the importance of salah, right? That for me, that was like the big takeaway is like how important praying 5 times a day is. Um, and like, people have their shortfalls. Sometimes situations come up where you didn't pray or whatever, something happened. But I feel like that 4 months really ingrained praying your salah in me to the point where now I'm always like, since then, always thinking about my salah, right? What about you?
Hmm.
What did it do? What do you feel like it did for you?
Honestly, obviously, you met me during my 4 months period. I was very mature,
Yeah,
very mature. I think with me, it was more to do with like
yeah,
constant talking. I didn't know when to speak, when to not speak. It kind of matured. Um,
yeah,
it honestly, it did mature me a lot.
yeah,
It didn't kind of not saying I don't talk a lot. I still talk a lot, but I kind of know when to speak, when not to speak. Be a bit mindful of who's around me and stuff.
yeah,
Um, and like situations, man. When it came to like obviously because of the poverty and like the struggle that you see people go through, it kind of matures you as a person. Um,
yeah,
Alhamdulillah, one thing for sure is it makes you a lot more grateful
yeah,
of the life that you're living, the life that you have, the struggles that you go through, as opposed to the struggles that the people they're going through. And yeah, just mentally it matured me a lot. along
Yeah,
obviously along with all the Islamic benefits, but I think like the main thing, like as an individual, the biggest thing for me was that maturity just like it kind of like transformed over the course of the 4 months.
yeah. You know why I smile right now? Just because your voice came into my head where we're in the shops and the shopkeeper gives us a price and then he changes the price and then you're like, these shopkeepers ain't loyal. Oh man, referencing a Chris Brown song. I think that was one thing between us. That was one thing that we would joke around about. Like,
Yeah,
man, this conductor
that
ain't
was that
loyal.
was our thing.
Yeah, yeah, that was really good. Uh, again, we
Yeah,
were
we
both
would.
like early 20s, so I think, yeah, definitely the maturity aspect was a big thing. Alhamdulillah. All right, bro, man. It's been amazing talking to you. Time just flies. There's like I can just keep coming up with stuff to talk to you about, but we gotta come to an end at some point. And the next couple questions I want to ask you are something I'm very curious about. So again, just appreciate you being here. Let's dive into these questions here. The first one I want to ask you, bro, is what's your like going out in the path of Allah? What's your dream destination and why? So it could be a place you've gone already, um, but what would be your dream destination and why?
That's a very tough question. Very tough
Yeah,
question. I think I'd like to visit Spain.
Spain.
Spain, yeah, I think Spain because of the wealth of Islamic knowledge and like obviously Islam was vast. Spain was an Islamic country at one point,
Yeah,
um, and just to see like how it changed, what's its changed, and obviously start effort at a place where Islam was thriving at one point. That would be an experience in itself.
Subhanallah,
So for
Spain.
me, that would probably be yeah, that'd be an experience.
That's amazing. Okay, so say a Jamaat is ready to go to Spain. Okay, and there's 7 people in the Jamaat. So you're number one. Name 3 people locally that you would take with you and 3 well-known figures that you would take with you. So this is your Jamaat, 3 local people and 3 well-known.
Yeah.
So it could be a YouTuber, it could be an athlete, could be whatever. Um,
So
let's
three
start
people
with
that I know, yeah, locally.
3 local people that you would take with you in your Jamaat to Spain.
I definitely take Zach.
Okay. Shout out
Zach
to
has to come.
Zach. Yeah. Is Zach still doing push-ups every day?
um, oh man, Zach, mashallah, Zach's busy. He's got a big family now, man. Mashallah, he's still
Yeah.
in good shape. Unlike me and you,
Alhamdulillah.
well, you're alright as
Yeah.
well, but yeah, Zach, mashallah,
Yeah.
he's in good shape. But yeah, Zach has to come.
Yeah.
Um, Muhammad Baba, he's my
Oh,
first Amir. He's a
okay.
amazing person,
Yeah.
and can I say you,
Bro, it'd
or
be
you're
an
not local?
honor if a local, yeah.
It'd be good. No, even I'd say I'd probably I'd tell you meet me halfway around the world somewhere, and we'll go Jama.
Nice.
I think that'd be a good
Okay. Okay.
experience.
I'll take that. I'll take that. And then three
Yeah,
well-known people, bro.
3 well-known people. All
Well-known
right, first
YouTubers,
top of the list.
athletes, celebrity, whatever. But they gotta be Muslim.
I take. Oh yeah, that's fine. Oh, okay. Monetai Jamil, he
Okay,
has to
nice.
come, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, if he was in Jamaat with me,
Yeah.
transform straight away.
Yeah.
Uh, um, well-known Muslims. You put me on the spot. You have.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Ronaldo. I think he'd make a good Muslim. He's got some good characteristics.
Yeah. He's in Saudi right now, right?
Yeah, he's in Saudi. Yeah.
I don't know.
So you have to be Muslim.
Yeah.
Uh, so
It's your Jamaat,
Malta
bro?
Jamil, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mufti Menk, I think
Oh,
Mufti Menk. He'd
okay.
be someone to learn a lot from as well.
Yeah. Mufti Menk, Molna Tariq Jamil, and we're off to Spain, bro.
That's
Uh,
it.
okay,
That'd be a good Jamaat. That
that bro, that'd be a wild Jamaat. And then last thing I want to ask you is, what's a message you want to leave for everyone listening? A message from you to everyone.
you love putting me on the spot, don't you? Okay. A message
I know you
I'd
can
say. I
handle it.
think
That's why.
this is this is probably to more of the younger people, um, more than the old. But then again, it relates to everyone. I'd say personally, if you ever get a chance to go in Jamaat, or if anyone ever skills you, whether it's 3 days, whether it's 40 days, whether it's 4 months, go. Close your eyes and go, because that 3 months, that's sorry, that 3 days, that 10 days, whatever time you spent, like they say, whatever, a day, a night spent in the path of Allah is better than the whole world and what it contains.
Mm-hmm.
So it can be a 3 day can be something that changes your life. The 10 days
Yeah,
might change your life, and the learning and the lessons that we take home from them 3 days can be the backbone to us getting hidayah.
100% true, man. 100% true, bro. Jazakallah khair for coming onto the podcast, man. It means a lot. Learned a lot from you. Love spending time with you, man. You're amazing. So Jazakallah khair for coming and joining us today.
Jazakallah for having me. It's been a pleasure. Honestly,
Yeah,
it's been a while. It's not 9 years since I've seen your face again. So Alhamdulillah, and honestly, I'm grateful that you thought of me, man. So Jazakallah for that, bro.
yeah. When you said dream destination, when I said dream destination, I wanted you to say, "Oh, Vancouver, Canada, bro." This guy says
I
Spain.
told you
I'm
you're
just
catching a
kidding.
flight halfway.
All
I
right,
told you halfway. We
Jazakallah
made
khair,
halves.
everybody. Yeah, Jazakallah khair, everybody, for listening today. I hope you guys had a great time. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you and keep us in your du'as. If you liked the episode and you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do follow us on Instagram. Share this, please share this, so we can get more people in the path of Allah and experiencing amazing things. Jazakallah khair and salamu alaikum.